If you're somebody who wants to expand their potential in life, create better results for themselves, and just overall live a better life, this is going to be the training for you. But also, if you're dealing with some suffering going on, if you're kind of stuck in a loop, stuck in your mind, this is all going to also going to be the training for you. Today, I'm going to go over exactly how to expand your mind and attract a better life. Now, we're going to mix many different practices into this training here today. Spirituality, we're going to talk through neuroscience and just understanding how your belief system works as a whole, your identity, your ego, the entire structure. So, in today's training, what you can expect is a brand new way of thinking when it comes to who you are, your sense of self, and also an exciting feeling, an exciting understanding of how powerful you actually are once you understand how your mind and belief systems are genuinely creating your personal reality. The reason why so many of us suffer and are stuck in our lives is because we bought into this past conditioning and programming that's not universally true, but it's personally true for the experiencer. It's half true for the experiencer, and we get caught up in this. And essentially, these limiting beliefs, we buy into them so deeply that we forget we are the authors of our lives. We are not the story itself. So we buy into these limiting beliefs like the world is evil, the world is suffering, life is suffering, success is evil, you can't have what you want, money is bad, money is evil, love and connection, you need to be attached, you're going to lose people. Ideas, all of these ideas become beliefs, and they limit you, and they cause so much suffering, and they're not even true, but they're personally true to so many of us, and that's why we get stuck. So allow me to explain it all. So the goal is I'm going to show you the path forward to expand your mind like this green circle compared to this black circle here, which is limited. So when I say limited, think of limited as in a mind that is you have a limited view on things, on the world, a limited perspective on things. You can't see outside of yourself. You're more so narrow focused. And with limitation, again, overall limitations, things that constrict you, things that make you more so a victim of the world rather than the creator that you genuinely are. Ideas or examples, I should say, is worrying, shame, guilt, scarcity mindset, fear. These are all limitations. They limit you, they do not allow you to expand, they allow you to constrict instead. So, ideas, or we should say beliefs that are expanded, is when you come from a state of freedom, connected but not attached, calm and grounded, happy, safe, abundant, in love. So let's dive into this. So first and foremost, just a little graph here is that here's the idea. So an expanded mind has an expanded lens on life. You have a bigger, broader perspective. There is more depth to you. You can see the world in multiple different angles. A limited perspective is a limited view on the world based on a limited belief system. Because your beliefs is what influences how you see things, your perspective on reality. So the more limited it is, like let's say a limited view is like people are evil, I can never be successful, money is evil, everything is a scam. When we believe those things to be true, our brain is basically going to follow through on whatever we believe. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. So if you believe those things, you're going to have a more narrow view and be hyper focused on those limitations rather than the potential for change, rather than the potential to change your life, because it might instead it'll just be completely cut off there because, oh, that's a scam, right? Don't change. That's a scam. So we get this limited viewpoint based off of these limited beliefs that then shape how we perceive our reality. And then we get this information outside of us. We get that to confirm what we already believe to be true because we're not looking for the truth in our reality. We're looking for confirmation of what we already believe to be true. This is one of the hardest part when people have a limited mind and belief system because they're so bought into the lie that they forget they are the ones that can create and change the lie in the first place. So the goal is how do we expand ourselves? Because when you expand your perspective, you can see things from multiple angles. You can understand things from multiple angles. You can approach things from multiple angles, and you can see the bigger picture in life itself. Okay. So that is the idea. For example, for an example, let's say you see someone who's going through something and they're struggling and suffering and it makes you sad. And the reason why you're sad is because they're going through something very bad. That is all a construct of your mind. You have no idea if what they're going through is actually bad or not. That is the assumption that you've made. That person could be going through a struggle right now that is going to absolutely change their entire lives moving forwards. That's going to give them the exact lesson that they need to go through to get to where they want to go. But with a limited view, we put judgment upon it, we make assumptions upon it that are limited as well. We cannot see the bigger picture. An expanded mind would look at a situation like that and observe it just for how it is because you really don't know. So you can expect the best overall, but you really don't know. So, how you see things, your perspective on life, right? Either a big perspective, a in-depth perspective, or a limited perspective. How you see things also. Okay. Also, what we should know is that, so first of all, your perspective is how you see things, right? Your belief system creates your personal perspective. But also, what that means is that it shapes the meaning you give to situations in your life. This happened to me because of this reason. This happened to them because of this. This is why the world is like this. The meaning we assign to events and things comes from our personal belief system, our perspective. How you define situations also comes from it as well. Your focus on it, so what you put focus on, comes from it as well. And your opinion comes from it as well. So people often say, I'm just being realistic. No, you're being biased based to what you believe to be true. It's just how your brain is working for the most part. So, your belief system, okay, so this all comes from your core belief system. Again, beliefs are basically what you believe to be true. What you believe to be true then is the instructions for your brain to follow in your personal reality. So, beliefs create thoughts and emotions. You are not your thoughts. Many of us think we are our thoughts. I am not good enough. I'm a bad person. That's not actually you. You're the one who's buying into it. You're the one who's listening to it all. You're the one who's observing it in the background. So, a thought held for 7 seconds creates an emotion. Thoughts and emotions held over time, neurons that fire together, wire together, will create identity. Your identity is what influences behaviors in life. If you have the identity of somebody who believes in God and Christ, you go to church, you read the Bible, you do certain practices, and you have certain morals based around that belief system. So, identity influences actions, how you show up, how you take action, what your behaviors are, and your actions is what's producing your personal reality. When I say your personal reality, I mean the results that you have in your life, your health, your relationships, your money status, your business success, all of it, your personal reality. Every action has a consequence, right? Every action has a reaction. So, your personal reality is created from that. I mean, if you're an adult, of course. Okay. So, now, moving over to this expanded mind. So, first of all, this is really important to know how this process works, right? Especially how your belief systems create your emotions for this next lesson I'm about to teach. But this is how it all works so far. Okay, so first of all, just going back, our goal today is go in how to expand our mind and end suffering so we can live a better life. So we know now that limited views on life, limited beliefs on life come from, or sorry, limited perspectives, limited views, right? Constricting views that disempower us come from limited belief systems. Okay? Belief systems influence all of these things that I just have listed for you. Now, belief systems also create everything I just shared, your literal personal reality as a ripple effect. So if we look at the frequency chart, so everything is energy. Every single thing vibrates, and everything is set to a certain tuned frequency. If you want to raise your frequency, you want to raise your vibration, you want to expand yourself. Okay, you need to change your overall state of being. So, if you want to live a better life, if you want to have a better perspective on life, if you want to have a better personal reality experience, you need to ascend upon the frequency chart. So, all the way at the bottom is a survival paradigm. Survival paradigm is when you live in a constant state. When I say state, that is your identity. State is your overall emotional state. Okay. Identity is who you believe you are. Identity is created through thoughts and emotions. So when I say state, basically just think of state as your identity. Remember, this all comes from belief systems though, because beliefs create thoughts and emotions. So if you're in if you're in a survival state, that is when you're in a constant overall, it doesn't mean every day. You're gonna have, good days and bad. Just like even if you were in the best state possible, you're still gonna experience pain. It's part of the human experience, right? But your overall state. So if you're in a constant state of survival, if you're in a constant state of fear, shame, guilt, worry, apathy, anger, those are all basically survival states of being. Okay. Those are survival states of being. Those are the experiences that you attract, and that is overall how you are in the world. So, if you're someone who is always in fear, you are probably always scanning for fear. You're probably always thinking that bad things are going to happen. You're probably always worried about what might happen next in your life. And therefore, you probably experience that a lot in your life as well. And that's why you believe it to be true. But just know that this is all a creation of your own. So, neutral state, neutral state is courage, willingness. We're more so neutral. We're not diving back into survival, just trying to get by, but we're not yet in that creator mode. Creator mode is where you feel like you're working by God, source itself. Synchronicities happen in your life. You're coming from a pure state of love, of joy, of abundance, of I am. I am means you are literally just, you are with the flow. You are integrated into the ocean itself. You're not sitting on the shore making judgments and assumptions. You're just allowing the flow to go with wherever the flow wants to go. Okay? But you can't get to that point if you are attached to things, if you're holding on to things, if you have limited viewpoints. Those are what we call resistance. They restrict you. Instead of going down the river, they cause you to get caught up, so you try to swim up the river. Resistance from the natural flow. So that's the frequency chart. Now, as we raise our frequency and our vibration, that is basically what you attract, right? Think of it like an antenna. So if you want your life to change, you must change the radio dial. As soon as you change the dial, you will attract a new channel. So once I change the TV station to 99, I'm going to see channel 99. Channel 100, 102, 103 is also playing, but I can't be tapped and tuned into it. I can't focus on it because I'm tapped into channel 99. So now we're getting to how we can really expand our minds. So now we understand at this section here, the goal for you to understand here is you want to change your, because if you want a positive life experience, right, you need to come from a positive place of being. Example, some billionaires feel the poorest of all people, yet they're billionaires. And the reason why is because if you come from a place of constant lack and scarcity and a place of like it's never enough, then that's all you're going to find in your personal life. You might have all the money in the world, but you might feel completely broke and poor. If you come from a place where your worth comes from outside of you, then you're never going to feel worthy and you're always going to chase the dragon where you're going to have to complete one project. It'll feel good temporarily, but then you need something else, something else, something else, something else to hopefully fill that inner lack, that inner pit. But if you come from that inner pit, you will find that inner pit outside of you over and over and over again. Your personal reality, your world, your reality is a reflection of what comes from within. Think of it like if you want the mirror to smile, if you want the mirror to be happy and charming and so happy, you need to do it yourself first, and then eventually the mirror will reflect that back to you. So now this comes to the idea of understanding that you need to change within first. You need to change your belief systems. You need to change your most dominant emotional state of being, your personal frequency. As you shed off the old layers and you change that, then your outer world experience will start to change as well in a more positive way. So think of it like this. All right. So you're trying to ascend to get to that creator flow zone, the creator lens, the God frequency, some call it. This is where you're in pure trust. You walk with God. You believe everything is working out for you. Every challenge that I hit, I believe is for me. Every obstacle I believe is for me. I do not believe that I can fail on my dreams and goals. I do not doubt. I do not give in to fear. I see fear, I feel fear, but I act anyways. I look at all my challenges and struggles as patterns to grow and expand. I have unconditional love, which means if somebody leaves me, I am not going to suffer. I will experience pain, but I will heal and get over it. I am okay because I am okay with everything. That is the goal. That is how you want to be unbreakable. You are fully in the human experience, having the best human experience, and you're not suffering and struggling and blinded the whole time and restricted and constricted. Other things is like you accept and you allow the way things are. Again, connected but not attached. You follow your passion. You truly build the life that you live, and that gives you the life that you want to live. Okay, by following your passion, following your love. You come from an abundant state. You trust that every single thing you need will be there in the exact moment that you need it. You're not always worrying about what's going to happen next, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is creator lens. That is God frequency that you can absolutely get to. I know this because I have gotten myself there over a lot of work. Okay, after a lot of time. And that's why I'm so passionate about creating this stuff because I know what it's like on the other side when we can make these changes and how good it genuinely feels. And if you're watching this training right now, you're not too far off. So you're trying to rise up, you get pulled down. And again, I want to just say too, once you get to the state, it doesn't mean that everything's all happy and joy and great. Like you're still going to go through pain. These negative experiences or experiences that you do not prefer are still going to happen. But you'll approach them and be with them so much differently. So what drags you down? These ropes right here. And these ropes are tied to limiting beliefs and fear, which fear is always a limiting belief in disguise underneath. So, again, limiting belief is a personal belief that limits or constricts you, and it's not fully rooted in full truth. It's not objective truth. Objective truth is like gravity exists here on this earth, that you need water to survive, that every single thing changes, that every single thing is connected, energy. Those are objective truths. An objective truth is not, I am not worthy. The world is evil. The world is a bad place. People are bad. Money is bad. I am not worthy. I cannot be successful. I am not good enough. I am broken. Those are not full truths. Those are your personal truths if that's what you believe. But here's where I want you to really understand. Your ego right now might be jumping in and saying, you don't understand. You don't get it. This is BS. I can't change. This is what's wrong with me. No, this is the story that you're buying into, but it's not the full you. And if you want to genuinely change your life, you need to silence that part of you and keep observing and trying to find what is the actual, real, genuine truth. Belief systems oftentimes are not rooted in genuine truth. Belief systems are programs, conditions that were programmed into you, conditioning that was programmed into you through childhood experiences, through your parents' experiences that they programmed into you, through society, how society is, through culture. All of these things programmed you. And a lot of times it's very limited programs. Okay? So fears of like, I want to be loved or I will not be loved if I do these things. And then that would more often than not, that limiting belief right there that I won't be loved if I don't do these things, or if I change my path is just because you had conditional love growing up. You didn't get to experience unconditional love. For example, limiting beliefs like I don't matter. Okay, maybe you didn't get a certain attention growing up. Limiting beliefs like money is hard and evil and stressful. Maybe your parents had a lot of stress fighting around money. Maybe you grew up in school and they always talked about how the rich people are evil and they showed that in your childhood movies. Limiting beliefs of like, I'm not good enough. That came from where maybe you only got praise growing up if you did things outside of you, but you never got praise for just being who you genuinely are. Or you never were told that you are good enough just the way you are. Instead, it was like you have to go get A pluses and be the best in sports. So then your worth comes from outside of you. right? Maybe your idea of love means fighting and control, which is toxic because that's what you grew up with. None of those are actual truths. These are all limitations, limiting software that's outdated that it's time for us to upgrade if we want to live a better life. So, these all then become the mask that you wear in life, and that mask then goes out and finds that in your external world. You find the hate, you find the pain, you find the limits, and then that gets reconfirmed back into your belief system, right? It feeds that ego and identity. And then it's just like, this is who I am. You don't get it. And this is why oftentimes many great people will say, if you want to change your life, you need to be delusional. And delusional basically means where it's like, hey, I see this, but I'm no longer reacting to this because that is a reflection of my past reality. That is a reflection of my past belief system, my past actions, how I used to be, but that's not me anymore. And then you focus within and you create it within so you can shed this mask that you're wearing to truly change yourself. Because your filter on reality, that's literally what's being reflected upon your world. Because remember, your belief systems influence what you focus on, what you give meaning to, how you define situations, your personal perspective. So, the full you, the full you is the observer of your life. Okay, the observer is the one who does not react, who sees reality as neutral as it is, because nothing has inherent meaning. We are the ones that give it meaning. Everything is just happening. So you are the observer of your life. You're observing everything for how it is. Okay, and then the full you is the author of your life. You're the one who can recognize, hey, I have this negative thought pattern that the world is bad and evil, and I notice that it makes me very depressed and sad, and it's affecting my personal reality. Well, I don't really want that anymore. Okay, well, I first must understand that I bought into a lie. This is not a full truth. This has only been my half truth. Okay, now I can start to make changes in this. Right now, I can start to change these beliefs because they're not universally true. So I might as well just change the belief in a more empowering way. That's how it works there. So, in general, if you want to genuinely expand your view to have a more broader perspective, a more in depth idea on life, and to be able to see things from multiple angles, to experience your personal reality in the best way possible, you first must know your power and your potential, which is, again, the law of mentalism. You are the personal creator of your personal reality. Okay? The results that you want in your life comes from your actions, which come from beliefs. How you perceive reality, your focus, your perspective, your ideas on reality comes from your personal belief systems. Everything comes from within. So once you get this down and once we can knock off that ego, that little devil on the shoulder is telling you that you can't change, that this is all a lie, this is BS, this is not possible for you, that there's something wrong with you, that you're the one out of 7 billion that is broken or whatever it may be. That's the ego. And the ego will scream like that because the ego doesn't want you to change. The brain, the animal side of you, so you have your soul side of you, your higher mind, then you have the animal side of you. The animal side of you wants to stay stuck and safe and secure. It wants predictability. So when you break those programs, those belief systems, it now cannot find predictability in the future because you're changing the whole entire programming. So it goes in fight or flight. It freaks out. You must tame that animal within. Tame the animal within. Because as you change, as you ascend, everything else will change as well. So that's the training for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like and subscribe below. Leave a comment what hit home the most. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.